Dark Force. Written by Anthony M. Strong. Narrated by Jet Malakai. Prologue. Mavendale, England, June 1876. The Bartholomew Meadows workhouse sat like a crouching predator against the black night sky, hunkered down and ready to strike. It was a large stone structure with two imposing four-story wings that spread one on each side of a central building that had once been Mavendale's manor house. It was almost midnight. The waxing moon hung low in the sky, partially obscured by scudding clouds. The ground was wet because it had rained for most of the day and well into the evening. Even though it was technically summer, a chill wind cut across the landscape, causing Eddie Lamb, one of a trio of night porters, to pull his coat tight around his rake-thin frame as a shiver ran through him. He approached the building from the east, passing through the open iron gates set into an archway made of blocks pillaged from the old monastery that sat in ruins 20 miles away, thanks to the actions of Thomas Cromwell and the man he served, King Henry VIII, over 300 years before. This entrance, nicknamed the Archway of Despair by the villagers, had earned its reputation through the many horrors inflicted upon the residents of Bartholomew Meadows, many of whom arrived via that very gate on their way to a life of hard labor and cruelty at the hands of uncaring and often sadistic workhouse staff. Eddie was one of the lucky ones. Although he was paid little more than the men and women who toiled within the dreaded institution with little hope of release, he could walk away every morning after his shift ended, and return to the small cottage he shared with his wife and 3 children on the outskirts of the village. When he was halfway up the driveway, Eddie paused and looked up at the building as he often did when arriving for work. As always, the urge to turn and walk back to the village came upon him. He hated this place and loathed all it stood for. It was institutionalized barbarism at its worst. Fearful of encouraging idlers, the government made sure that this place, along with almost 2,000 other such establishments just like it all across the country, instilled terror in the hearts of the population. No one wanted to find themselves in a workhouse if there was any other option available to them. But Eddie didn't turn back toward the village. As always, he continued on toward the building, because without his job, he and his family might find themselves on the receiving end of the poor laws that condemned so many, which was, in his opinion, a fate worse than death. He would be separated from his wife. His children, young as they were, might end up sold to a factory as free labor or even end up down in the mines. Eddie reached the front.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?